Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I am a little bit late because I was doing a workout. I'm trying to lose weight, trying to get back into shape. And I was doing a workout and I just finished, and so I thought I would come back and do this. There's a lot of, it's good to get away from the desk unless you have a specific trade you're waiting for. If you don't, then you're just then you're faffing and it's not good for you. There should be something you're waiting for specifically to happen. Okay, so you should be able to hear me, sound should be good, and we appear to be up and running. Okay, so there's no errors, everything seems good. So let's run through the end of day setups. Now, it's important because tonight is FOMC. So if we have a look at the calendar, we are sitting here, FOMC minutes, 7 o'clock, not really concerned about what's happened with the markets. So I think we can just proceed and go and have a look at what's going on in the markets. All right, so let's go look at euro dollar. Euro dollar is still continuing to look bearish. So at this point, unless there's a reversal by the 10 o'clock close tonight at this very specific level, my expectation is it'll continue down. So in other words, this is the very last thing where it could be a double bottom or it breaks and goes through. And I gotta say, it looks bearish. So I'm gonna put the arrow here, not because it's a setup. I mean, it is a setup, but it's too late now. It's kind of effectively, it's gone. But it's looking like it wants to head lower. Okay, and the next level down is this level here, which is 108.30, give or take. So actually, no, I'll give you a specific number. 108, could it be 50? Yeah, 108.50, 108.45. So no setup tonight. Then I was looking for this to continue down, but it has double bottoms. So this is what I'm looking for to see if if this happens on euro dollar. It has turned around. There is your double bottom. It's not a very strong signal, so we could still continue down. So I think it's also safe to say that this resistance at this level should still count. You can see the resistance over here and a double bottom. We don't really have strong bullish divergence, and the second candle is a very weak kind of hammer. It's not very strong, so I'm not worried about it at this time. I want to see what happens when we get up to this level. And overall, actually on the higher time frame here, it looks still looks quite bullish. But no setup. Aussie dollar, it just continues, and again, we haven't had a pullback. That was a setup that I commented on and didn't trade. Sorry, because for those of you who are joining, you might not be watching every episode. Sometimes I'll list all the setups that I see, and then I think that day I placed dollar yen, and I missed, I said there were like 5 setups, and I only traded the one. It happens. Sometimes I don't take note of it, and then I kind of skip it. So these are examples of I have too much on my plate, and there's an abundance of trades for me. So I'm not really worried if I miss stuff, but that's a bad habit. You can get into the bad habit of not taking trades that turn out to be fantastic trades. And then you can't complain if the one trade you did take out of the 5 trades was a losing trade and the other 3 or 4 were winning trades. You can't kind of complain when that happens. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So let's carry on. QB dollar continues to look good. You might get a bit of a retracement now, but that continues to look relatively bearish. I am just going to copy this level down to about here. So we've got our next level, which is where we are. There. Okay, that's kind of where we are now. So we could get a retracement up to here and down. We'll see. No setup. Dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen is gone. I mean, that was my killer trade that I took the same day I saw the other ones. That was the best one so far. Dollar Swissy, it's trying to break out. So remember in previous videos, so if this is the very first one you're watching, please watch at least 2 others. I did just get 2 others. They're usually 10 minutes each, and they'll give you a sense of gives you a sense of that. What I would comment on that I think is noteworthy here is the retracement, this beautiful downtrend, and the retracement back into the moving averages on the weekly and back into the previous level of support, which could now be resistance. So this area where it is, when you look at this picture, should actually become bearish. It should actually turn around. Could go a little bit higher, could come up and touch here, but this could be somewhere where in the bigger picture over here, I'd expect this to continue down potentially. So we're just going to watch that one. We'll just keep an eye on that one. Dollar CAD continues to go. That was a beautiful double bottom on its way. So that was a really good trade setup. And what I said in the last recording that I did was my own, one of the strategies that I have developed that is mine, that is my personal one that I've come up with and not a copy of someone else or not something I learned from someone else, are these kind of double bottom rejections. I use very strong MACD and a really strong like bullish engulfing candle. My eye has learned to pick it up. It's not some sort of secret. It's just that I keep spotting them now and they turn out really well. The irony is I don't see them the same way, excuse me, when it's a double top. I don't see it when it's a double top. I see double bottoms, but that's because I like double bottoms. All right, Euro GBP. Okay, so that's broken through that. So that now definitely looks more bearish. But when you look at it on the weekly, it looks like it is in a range. This is, I would say, absolutely a range. Okay, so it has to get out of that range. It's got to decide what it wants to do. All right. Next up, Euro Yen. Hopefully you've been watching the videos I've been recording last week of an actual Euro Yen setup. There's also another one happening here. This is a breakout that is occurring here. So this is what I love about trading. All right. As you get more and more experience, you get confidence because you've taken 10,000 trades. And so what we're looking at here on all the yen pairs is a flow. We're just seeing the flow of price. It's like a river that just keeps going. Not forever, but right now, the yen crosses are in full flow. And so when you look at this, you can see that it's trying to break through that level. And it just broke out of here, then pulled back, and now it's trying to break and continue. So it's a relatively good trend at this time. And the MACD continues to trend higher. So the MACD is bullish. So the trend is healthy. It's not failing. So one of the ways in which you could trade this is if you really want to get in, you could get in now. There's some risk. And put your stop loss below the low of this swing low. So in other words, price pulled up, pulled back, and has taken off. So your stop loss could be below that, and your entry even where you are now or on the break of the high of this. So then it's the same kind of idea as we had here, but it's a better reward to risk. It's a way. Or you go down to you do exactly what I did last week. Same thing again, go down to the 1 hour chart. You look at it here, it's trying to break out, and you map. You wait for it to break out, you wait for it to pull back, and you trade it to the upside. Okay, it's very cool. So you do that on the 1 hour time frame or the 4 hour time frame. And then chances are if it repeats, it'll do it. If it's Wednesday now, it'll do it like Friday or Monday, for example. Euro Swissy looks bearish. So there's no setup. There's a bit of a flat level, wants to break through. And then we have, this looks nice and bullish. Not super bullish, but it does look like it wants to keep going to the upside. That looks relatively nice and good. So another thing is that I'm only looking at the most kind of recent price action. I'm looking at where the major kind of levels are, but right now this is producing higher lows, and it looks, most of the candles look nice and green. They look like they're closing higher, and so predominantly within like 10 objects, there's a sense of greenness in them. Trying to describe it as my brain is kind of observing it. Euro Aussie keeps going. So this is really good. This was carried over from last week, but I didn't take any trades here. I mentioned them, but I didn't take them. Please understand that sometimes I forget to place the orders. Sometimes I take all the trades. But in this particular place, I think I mentioned about 4 or 5 setups, and I only placed dollar yen. And I don't know why. I just forgot to go and place the orders for the rest. Here we've had a bit of a pullback and a move and a pullback. So I think it's fair to say there's a little bit of resistance in this area, but we could see it move on. Pound yen, just beautiful. We need a pullback, no setup. Pound Swissy's got a range within a bigger range. So here's the bigger range, and there's the smaller range. Are you guys getting, is it streaming? Is everything here? Is it all working okay? Yeah, it is. All right, there's a nice pullback. There was our setup. So here I was highlighting the pullback. There was the setup. Did I take it? No. Listen, I'm having a very good month on day trading. I've got a few other things going on. I've been trading well, but this was a setup. That was a no-brainer. Now that I look at it, a hindsight setup, admittedly, but very good. I need to actually go and see, because I don't know if I did a market scan on the 14th. If I did, it'll be in there. Just having a look quickly on the side. On the 14th. I mean, yeah, on the 14th. No. So no setup, which is why I didn't see it. So that was the last one I did, which was the 9th, which was actually here. Sorry about that, guys. Pound Aussie, looking good, no setup because we needed to pull back. And just to go back to this is a good example of how you can miss a setup just by, you know, like for example, we went to the coast last night. I live in London, but we drove to Dover last night and came back. There's a personal reason for it, but we did do that. And I missed these. I didn't scan the market, so you miss setups. Okay, Aussie Kiwi. All right, so here we had a bit of a climb. We had lots of tests of support. We've hit it away, produced a lower high. So now I'm going to take this away to see if it's going to change trend, but it's generally not looking great. This could be, possibly. It's not a great trend. I'm going to leave it. I was going to say it could be a buy setup, but I'm going to leave it. Aussie CAD continues down. The Aussie pairs are generally weak. Aussie Swissy continues down. Look at this. Excuse me. Look at that weekly one. These can be very hard to get into. We know it's going down. It's very hard to get into. Can you get in on the 4 hours? So you go straight to the 4 hour. Even the 4 hours choppy. In other words, you take a setup here, you get triggered in, stopped out. Then you take that setup, you make money. You get in on one of these, you get triggered in, stopped out. Then you take that one, you make money. Here you get an engulfing bar. So you take this one, you get stopped out, you miss that one, you take it. This one you take. That shouldn't happen all the time. That's not great. So basically this is a pass. Aussie yen. That's a nightmare. You can't trade that. There's nothing there. Kiwi CAD. I think this might be finding a bit of a base here, so let's just put this in here at that point. Could be finding a bit of a base. I'd leave it. There's no setup. Kiwi Swissy. No. And we marked that one, so that was a bit of a break and a continuation. So far, running through the charts in the last 10 days, I've probably not taken about 80% of the setups that I've highlighted, and just a few of them. And it's okay. I'm 5% up for the month. I'm very happy. I'm 5.8% up for the month today. We'll see. That's a mess. You can't trade that. Nobody can. Algos, I beg your pardon. Algos can trade this because they can just trade a range, but people, it's not worth your while. And that's continuing up, but it's already starting to collapse a bit. So if you look, there's a little bit of a level here. It's starting to collapse there. It'll most likely break and go to there because it's the yen pairs. It's pushing up. Swissy yen's a no-brainer. That was really good. If you go back a couple of videos, we were talking about all those breakouts, and then we've got CAD Swissy, which is looking bearish, guys. Okay, there's a definite kind of a flaw here that it's working on. It's probably going to break through and keep going. Okay, let's look at go look at gold. Okay, gold is still testing this level and potentially could go lower. So this is the last chance for gold to find support. If it breaks through 1900, it's likely to go down to 1875. Let's look at silver by comparison. So silver is trying to stay where it is. See how the wicks are coming in? It's desperate to stay where it is. Let's see if I can kind of find that point. Nah, something happened here. Okay, let's see. But I think it's going to keep going. I think it's going to get pushed down, go through. Crude oils, there's a correction there, but that makes sense within this. Let's see how Brent is looking. Brent is continuing down, so that makes sense. So until I see a bullish candle here, I'm not going to go long because of that major level of resistance. Then we have the indices, global indices, trying to slow down. It's really the weekly where the magic is. Look how it's on this level. It's trying to stay there. The S&P is also trying to stay here. They are slipping. So there's right now, if it was like 50-50 buyers and sellers, it's like 55% sellers, 45% buyers. So it's struggling a bit. NASDAQ is trying to stay at this level. I don't think it's going to succeed. I think we might see it drop a little bit. We'll see. If it closes, if it comes back up as a green candle, it's a buy for me. Let me clarify. If it produces a green version of this, then next week on the break of the high of that, I'm bullish. That's specific. Russell 2000 still coming down, so there's no setups there. FTSE, yeah, no setup there. DAX is trying to hold at this level here. I was talking about the bearish divergence. Okay, so I was looking about this bearish divergence and the MACD was just going down. And so I was looking for that to kind of play out. Then we go to ASX in Australia. That's pushing down. That's okay. That's messy, but look at this because it's messy here. Nikkei. Okay, that looks like it wants to break through that floor. What is the big arrow coming down? What's that? Okay, we'll just get rid of that. Okay, there we go. So this could be significant. It looks bearish. Let me show you why it looks bearish. You see how we've got equal lows here? There's a low, there's a low, there's a low. You've got this breaking down. This is a rare, I want you to spot, like I want you to take note. This is a rare occurrence. We've got equal levels here, which actually should mean that it's equal here. Instead, we've got the MACD already breaking through. That's a very bearish sign. Incredibly bearish. I would say, for me, there's a 95% chance this thing is going to head down. We'll see. 90 for me, but I'm not going to trade it. How would I do it? I would sell on the break here with stop loss above the high here. But that's very rare to see the MACD already breaking through. That's it. There's nothing more for me to do here. Most of those kind of give you a sense of what's going on. I had Tesla on screen because Tesla's coming down, but that's where I'm really watching it is the weekly. I want to see it come down towards this trend line here. Anything else? I've added Disney to my watch list because Disney is sitting on a relatively important level. Look at that. And look at its performance over the years. Let's do something here. Let's go from all-time highs. Let's go from the lows up to the all-time highs. And look at kind of where it's close to where it's sitting. That's the low of 618. So that's a 618. There's your 50 fib. 618 is 61 retracement. In other words, it's given back 61.8% of its entire value since it listed. That's a bit alarming. And if it breaks through where it is now, it's going to hit back down to that level. So that's not good. That is not good. Why? What's going on, man? What's going on, Disney? You should be paying your writers. That's what you should be doing. Okay. Anything else, guys? Cryptos. Nothing to announce. There's nothing here. That's actually looking more and more bearish. This is looking also very similar here. Lower highs coming in. It's looking bearish. We'll have to see what happens here. That's it. I'm going to leave you with that. It's a lot to talk about right now. The best trades are in currencies, kind of. Like if you are only a stock trader, then there are obviously trades in stocks. But if you are all over the place like me, if you're looking at currencies, cryptos, commodities, or just even commodities, cryptos, and Forex, for example, or the indices, like 4 of them, the big ones. Right now, the safest, best ones are probably sitting in currencies. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. It's not going to be the case forever. We'll start to see, I think, equities pick up again. And then when the dollar decides what to do, we'll see silver and gold, crude oil, we'll see those things happen. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. I want you to have a fantastic evening. Any questions, any comments, good or bad, whatever, just give them to me. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.